But I'm feeling kind of sad because we're almost to the end, and I know that you're happy because you're ready to start quilting, but I'm gonna miss our time together, and I just can't wait to see all of your quilts, and I hope that you will all send me pictures of your quilts. So you've got your binding on and you think your quilt is done and happy, happy, happy. Okay, so a few tips I want to tell you before you gift it or use it. First of all, take pictures of it. It's a wonderful thing, you know, 5 years from now to go back and look at the quilts that you created and enjoy what you did in your first quilt. It will always be special to you. Before you gift it, one thing I would recommend doing is throw your quilt in the dryer with 0 heat and just let it bat around for a while. That will help knock out any pins. You know, you want to make sure that you've got all your pins out, and we're usually pretty good about that as we sew, because remember, we are never ever going to run over a pin with our sewing machine. So pretty much you've got all your pins out. Throwing it in the dryer for just 5 minutes with no heat will help to make sure all those pins get rattled out. The other thing I would highly suggest is to put a label on the back of your quilt. When I first started quilting, I thought this was a little pretentious and I kind of didn't like to do it. And now I feel differently. I feel like, you know what, when you give a gift to somebody, you give them a card that says who that gift came from and kind of your feeling about why you gave it to them, right? I mean, there's some kind of recognition of the event. So what's the difference with a quilt? Like, why would you not put, you know, like happy birthday, or, you know, if it's a baby shower gift, you know, welcoming that baby into the world. And so it's basically just putting a card on the quilt. Another thing you might want to think about is whether or not you want to wash the quilt before you gift it to somebody. You know, I can go either way on this, but one thing, if you're using a lot of reds in your quilt, now you've seen this fabric a lot during these videos. I've already worked with this fabric, and I know that it won't run. But there are many times reds that will run, and if you wash it first and, you know, throw in a color catcher in the wash, then that way you at least know that, you know, it's not going to run. And the last thing I will say is to be sure to print out my handout. I've made a handout for you about, there's some really easy beginner patterns that I think are very versatile, and patterns that will help get you started and kind of increase your skill in a way that you can use the pattern over and over with variations in the pattern and still make it a completely different quilt every time that you do. So I've made some notes about that and some things that I think are good places for you to start, and remember to send me pictures because I can't wait to see them all, and I know you're going to have so much fun. Welcome to the quilting world. And no, you don't have to buy a cat just because you became a quilter.